Well, good morning. It Travels with Dottie here. This is Rob and Dottie in the car overlooking Eagle Nest Lake. And we're about to go on a little trip to Cimarron and through the canyon. And we're going to be on our way here. We're going. Are we ready, Dottie? We are ready. You guys have heard me talk about my aftermarket radio head that I replaced the factory one in. And when I got it, hang on a second, get my map going. When I got it, and we're just gonna drive through the RV park here. I know it's a little jumping around a little bit because it's bumpy. I don't know something's going on here. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. Something to do with Boy Scouts. So where was I? So my aftermarket here, let me just show you. I'm just going to park it for a second. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So it's this thing that, I can do internet, I can do music, I can do YouTube. And the way the way that I got the internet on there was you can put a SIM card in and it'll automatically connect. So I went to, interestingly enough, when I got it, I have the kind of personality, I want it now. So when I was up in Lake Havasu with my friend Daryl, who was installing it for me, I wanted to get, because I have all my business stuff with AT&T, an AT&T SIM card, but the AT&T store was so friggin' crowded, it was going to be hours before I could get it done. Bye. Cimarron. Okay. No. No, I work in the morning, so I guess I wasn't looking. Next time. Thanks. So that was Marty, the owner here, and she was telling me, did you see the balloons, the hot air balloons that were all over? And I missed them because I was working. And she said, didn't you just see them out the road? Out the window, rather? And I said, no, I guess I don't look out the window much at all when I'm focusing on a client. So that's, I guess, a good thing, but there'll be other opportunities to see the hot air balloons. There are a lot of them that operate here. Anyway, so I went to Verizon, and for $70, I think, a month for 100 gigabytes, which was probably way too much because, like right now, I'm not using any data driving along, and usually it's music or maybe just listening to YouTube. It's not like taking that much, but it was $70 a month, and that's a lot. That's a lot of money, $70. When you translate it into a year, that's $840 a year. $840. That's a good chunk of money. And when I got here to, and we're heading in, we're going to wind our way into Cimarron, the canyon and everything, and it's going to be a picturesque, wonderful trip here that I think you're really going to enjoy. Anyway, when I got here, I got no signal at all on my Verizon, and just driving around locally, I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't do anything because it was just zero. And I'm like, I got kind of frustrated by that. So I said, I have a spare SIM card for AT&T. Why don't I just call AT&T, have them activate the SIM, and I'm sure they could do at least $70, if not better. So turns out that AT&T won't support this. They won't support that unit at all. There's no amount of money they will take to activate a SIM to do the data on this thing. And I was kind of frustrated. And then I realized, I wonder what it would cost just to get another a second hotspot, because I have an unlimited hotspot that I pay a lot of money for, but it's AT&T and I use it quite a bit. So I said, oh well, I'll try it, you know. So I went online, and it turns out there was a special. I could get the hotspot unit, like a 5G thing, for free, and it was $25 a month for, I think, 25 gigabytes. I think that's a quarter of, maybe it was 20 gigs, maybe a fifth of what I was getting before. But I wasn't using 100 gigs. And it was $25 instead of $70. So I ordered it. I canceled the Verizon. And so you can set that head unit to just connect to Wi-Fi. So I have the thing plugged in, and it's connected to Wi-Fi, and it works perfectly. Perfectly. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That was a good solution. And if, it's not enough data, I can, upgrade it to, I think the next level is probably $40 a month, and it's probably 50 gigs. And I mean, unless I'm sitting watching videos in the parked car, I'm not going to use I'm not going to use the data. So I saved $45 a month, which is, that's $450 plus 90, that's $540 I saved per year. So I'm pretty proud of that. Now we're going to the little town of Cimarron, and there's a grocery store there that I really like. It's a nice local, rustic kind of grocery store. So I'll take you in there with me. But the big, well, I was going to say the big thing is the drive, but there's so much more than that. The drive is remarkable, as you're going to see. You think it's pretty cool now? Just wait. Just wait. And Cimarron, the New Mexico State Park, Cimarron State Park here is we're going to come upon that pretty quickly. And there's several campgrounds within the park. And I'm going to pull in and show you my favorite one, that I often would use, before I got a permanent summer spot up here. And I'll pull in there as we go by that. And I think it's another 3 or 4 miles through here, but it's deep in the real canyon. And when I say the real canyon, you're going to see that. You're going to see it soon. Let me see, is this pointing straight? I think it is. I want to make sure this is pointing straight. There, that's straight. And even with my new thing, I'm sure I don't have any signal in here. It's really hard to get signal. But actually, in the campground, for some reason, there is signal. So there was a great AT&T signal, and I think my friend Sally had a good T-Mobile signal in there. I don't think Verizon's not very good in this area. So just so you know, Dottie's with me. She's in her little co-pilot bed, sitting up, happy, watching the scenery go by. Mostly, though, when I talk to the camera, she stares at me, thinking, is he talking to me? But if I'm not talking, she'll be looking out the window. Then she'll get tired and she'll lay down and sleep for a while. but she loves being in the car. Unlike George, we had to leave George at home. George does not like riding in the car. George gets car motion sickness. So I have to um, look at this. And what's amazing is a great thing that happened last year is I was driving through here in July, and there was a little berm of a snowbank on the side of the road in July. It happened early in the morning, I guess, but it was there. It was pretty stunning to see in July. But all along here, oh, I didn't mention this, is a river, and it's stocked plentifully with rainbow trout. So you go fishing here, you can catch a lot of trout. And I've fished quite a bit here. Now I didn't get, see, I'm a little bit of a spot. I'm not going to fish until July because I have to be a resident of New Mexico for 90 days before I can get the resident fishing license. And I don't want to waste my money on a non-resident. So it'll be July 27th is the day I can get my New Mexico fishing license. So I lost my train of thought. No, I told you about the fishing. There's lots of neat little pull-offs here where you can go down to the river. There's all sorts of ways to get into the river. Lots of fly fishing goes on here, and we may see one or two fly fishermen walking along the side of the road. I remember once I was driving down here and I saw a couple of fisher people with vests on and holding fishing rods, and I got closer and closer. It was Deborah and Frugal. Deborah Dickinson and Frugal RV Gal. Like, holy, I know who they are. They like it up here too. They're not up here, but they love it up here. I bet those are fisher people, fishermen, fisher women, fisher people. Now you can start to see, like, let me angle it up a little bit so you can see the steep walls. So otherwise the sky goes away and you just see sheer cliffs. So gonna angle it up a little more maybe. There, how's that? Now the gimbal on the camera is moving around a little bit as I'm making turns. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of hard to tell. I think I could set it so it's just marches straight ahead, but right now it's kind of pointing to the left. Here's one of the camping areas to the right, Blackjack tent area we just passed. So no RVs there, but you can camp with tents. And you can really see we're in a canyon. There's no doubt about that. And I'm just going to press the button for, oh, are you kidding? I have signal in here?
In February of 1980.
I am shocked. I have signal with that. Well, that's impressive. I have signal enough to play stuff on that radio head. So are you getting impressed? Look at that. Look how beautiful it is. See, I told you it was going to get better and better as we went along here. And it's a beautiful sunny day. I think this is going to be another long video, folks, because there's so much to see. The drive is amazing. When we get to Cimarron, we'll show you the grocery store, but we're also going to ride by a historic hotel that the outside of it looks great. We're not going to go inside today, but look, we're in a canyon here. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh, I went the wrong way, but look, I have to angle the camera so you can see where the heck we're going here. There's a pull out on the left there. You can got river access. There's a day use area on the right. And the river sort of, depending on where you are, is either on the right or the left side of the highway because it moves back and forth underneath the road. I think when we pull over and I show you the campground, my favorite campground, I'm gonna adjust it so maybe that gimbal just points straight forward instead of wandering as I turn. I think we're getting pretty close. It's going to be up on the right. There's not very much traffic on a Saturday, but I keep reminding myself it's not really summer yet. It's still spring. We're still in June. By July, this will be a much busier area. I know we're getting close here. So Maverick is the campground to the left. It's a little, no full hookups or anything, but that's a little tight for me. The one on the right here is the one I love. It's smaller, but let me show you why I love it. It's called Ponderosa. And it's right here on the right. Okay. Let me explain what we're seeing here. There's toilets, no showers or anything, but toilets and everything there. And then the reservation sites are along the perimeter, right? So let me drive through here and show you what I'm talking about. They're marked sites on the perimeter of this parking lot. However, you see the spaces that are marked here in the middle of the parking lot that are numbered, but they are not reservation sites. These are all first come, first served sites. So I can pull my trailer into this site right here and park here, and I don't need a reservation. And even during peak season, there's always a few of these open. Now, I'm gonna take the camera out of the car and just show you the view from this quote parking lot. Okay. There's Dottie. But let's just pretend the trailer's right here and I'm camping right here. And take a look at the view. Gonna go all the way around here. And by the way, straight through there. If you walk straight through those trees, you'd be right on the river. You could fish right there. So tell me, this is not a cool place to camp. And before they changed things, before they changed the rates and everything, when I was an out-of-stater paying $225 for an annual camping pass, primitive camping without hookups like this spot I'm in right now, you could be here for 2 weeks. There's no reservation fee because you're not making a reservation. And guess what it costs? Zero. Nothing. But that's not true now. I don't know what. I'm very confused about the rates. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert. You'll have to look them up yourself. I do not understand. But it's at least, I think, $5 a day now. And you can only stay for a week instead of 2 weeks. But I could come here, and I did it more than once, and pull into one of these spots and stay here for 2 weeks for free. That was a deal. And I believe on the right, that is the camp host. And it's got to be either the camp host has completely gotten a new rig this year, or it's a different guy. There's some vault toilets there. Let me see. Vault toilet is just a kind of a hole in the ground, and they have those big ventilation stacks. But let me tell you something about New Mexico State Park vault toilets. I have never been in one that wasn't both clean and odor-free. The way they engineer them, they're odor-free. But then over here they have kind of real toilets. No showers, but toilets. And that's the Ponderosa campground. There are bears and mountain lions. Dottie, did you hear that? There are a lot of bear and mountain lions around here. Oh, I was going to, hang on, I need to shut this off and adjust the gimbal setting. Can I do that while it's recording? I'm going to try FPV mode, see how that works. See how much this gimbal moves. It says it follows camera movement, but you know what? Technically the camera's not moving. Let's see if the gimbal moves. Yeah, it's still moving when I make a turn, but is it coming back to center? Yeah. Anyway, so the next stop is we're gonna drive out of the canyon. We're gonna continue going in the same direction, which is well, I can't get the compass to work on the car. So I can't tell you exactly what direction we're headed in. So, and it's near noontime, so I can't tell by the sun. That's kind of a bummer. That's kind of a bummer. I'll have to take a look at that when we stop. Why I'm not able to look at the compass. I'm just curious to see.
Sam's talk to Tom.
I'm still connected through the whole canyon. I can't believe it. You know, my AT&T phone service would not stay connected through that canyon, but this little device that I got for free is got great reception. And I think we can, I think at this point, compared to what you just saw, this next stretch is pretty boring. So I'm going to shut this off and turn it back on when we get to Cimarron. I just wanted to show you this burn here. Look at all these dead trees. This was a huge fire that came very close to consuming the entire town of Cimarron. And in the future, we will be doing more things in Cimarron. One of them is the Mill Museum, and there's a lot of information I'm going to give you on that fire, when it was, and how it happened, and the whole story.
She knew she was early.
Well, here we are in the little town of Cimarron, and I'm going to show you a couple things before we actually go into the grocery store here. That's the grocery store on the right that we're passing, and we're going to take a ride down and show you the St. James Hotel, which has an amazing history. The likes of Wyatt Earp was, because this is near the Santa Fe Trail, so the likes of Wyatt Earp and many other historical figures from the West stayed in this hotel. I was a little concerned that last year they announced the closing of the hotel and selling it, and it went on the market, and we're hoping somebody would buy it. Well, a corporation bought it, and it's back open again, thank goodness. So it's up here on the left. I'm going to go real slow. And I don't know if you can see the mill on the right there. That's a big museum that is multi-levels, and it's great. So here is the historic St. James Hotel. And I can't wait to show you. It's not today, sorry. But if you're really curious, I have other videos from last year and the year before where I go into the St. James. But that's the St. James Hotel on the left there. Isn't that something? Great restaurant in there. A historic bar with original bullet holes. A lot of people lost their lives to violence in that bar. And there's the Cimarron Mercantile and Cafe. There's an RV campground here if you want to stay here. I want to show you the mill. I'm trying to remember how my memory is and actually getting to the mill. I think this isn't the way, because I can see it on the right. I can see the back of it on the right here. Maybe I just need to go around the block. If there is a block, I don't think there is. I think I screwed up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I did it right. I'm looking at the map and there's no way to get over to the right there. So I'm going to turn around. And I know you're excited to see the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church. And there it is. And just go back the way we came. And I think the mill is just down a little side street. But it is, I'm not going to bother going by there. We're going to go to the mill, to the museum, and go through the whole thing just like I did last year or the year before. And I'm going to go through the whole thing again. It's a great museum. And we'll definitely go inside the St. James Hotel. Famous St. James. One of my favorite things to do is by the entrance, there's a bench, and I like to sit on the bench and realize that the likes of Wild Bill Hickok and Wyatt Earp likely sat on the exact spot watching the world go by. Gonna sneeze. Warning. Startled Dottie. So we'll go back up into town here and we'll check, and I'll bring you into the little grocery store that I love so much. Lots and lots of Old West history in this area. And I think I can sneak through right here. These are not people from New Mexico flying through here, I can guarantee you. Are. There's the Creamy Drive-In and the laundry, and I often will come here to do the laundry just because it's by the drive-in and the grocery store and in one of my favorite places. Alrighty, so well, first we'll take a peek in here at the laundry, just in case you're interested. Nice and small. It's hardly ever busy. And we'll go in there and buy a little lunch to eat on the way home, maybe a cheeseburger. And but more important, we'll go in the grocery store here and maybe we can find something for dinner tonight.
This one is a cake. These are all cakes, and those are all for 90s.
And here we are, neatly stocked. They're ready for summer. stocked up.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go swap them out there.
Is that what you wanted? You gonna eat it?
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me, sir.
Mama.
I think maybe I'll get a pizza for tonight. Pepperoni pizza. I think I can chop that up and cook it in the air fryer. I wonder how much eggs are these days. Medium's $4. $6.25 for a. This is 18 count. Cage free, $5.25. These are nice prices. And here we have the produce section, small but absolutely adequate.
Oh, that big one?
Can we be nice and maybe get a little treat for Dottie? Do they have little dog treats? I think they would. I don't see. Well, what do we have? Well, here's a little thing. No. Well, that's not a treat. That's a meal. Oh, you know what? We could use a little water bowl for Dottie. Notice there's not one in there and she's thirsty.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, here we go. You know what? I'm really trying to keep Dottie's weight down and getting this stuff. It's just not healthy. Oh well. I feel bad, but just, you know, a friend of mine says, don't hurt your dog with overfeeding. Well, we got our pizza and our little dog bowl, and we'll order a little lunch for on the way home to the Creamy Drive-In. People rave about this place. Cheeseburgers, $11. Nice it is in here. Plenty of room if you got a big group. Well, this is what you get for $12. 12, I think about $12.50 including tax. But check it out. It's a beautiful cheeseburger. Nice, very crispy. You hear that crunch? Crispy onion rings. Everything on that burger. That is going to be today's video. A trip to Cimarron. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.